Greetings, creatures of planet Earth. My name is Biwot, and on this tutorial series we are going to be setting up an environment that will enable us to develop PHP websites. This is not the best way of doing things. Trust me, this is not production worthy stuff. But it gives you basic knowledge on how to do things. It gives you an understanding of how things work. For production stuff, you are most likely going to use a framework, but you cannot use a framework if you do not have the basics. That is why I come in. That is what this tutorial is about. And enough said, let's begin. First things first, we're going to Google Xampp and see what comes up. Download installers. The reason I'm using Windows is because most of my friends are using Windows and they are the ones who need the tutorial, so bear with me, Linux users and our rich friends from Mac. Anyway, so my machine, I'm using a 64-bit, so yeah, that's what I'm going to get. Wait, what? Oh, here we go. It will take a while, and yeah, I'll pause the video until the whatever is done. So the download's complete. That's good. We are going to run the installation file. It's going to need admin access in order to be able to write to the C drive, so it's okay. Say yes to it. And the installation prompt, graphical user interface will show up in no time. There we go. See. This is nothing to worry about. It's only on my system. I doubt you are going to have this. So yeah, there are a couple of things we don't need. We do not need FileZilla, we do not need Mercury, Tomcat, all this. Right now we don't need them. It's a simple tutorial, not a whole website being launched, so it's okay not to have that. Yeah, so holla when the installation is done. So the installation is complete. Yeah, so start the control panel. Yeah, choose English. It should start up anytime now, the graphical user interface. That is one of the great things about Xampp. I like the whole user friendliness. Okay, so I have a couple of ports that have been occupied, especially port 80 on my, that is on my part, but you won't have any of this red stuff. Let's see if it actually works. If it doesn't, I'll have to show you how to fix it if you ever run into something like this. Yeah, it hasn't started, so slight detour. We are going to fix it. First things first, we need to look for the hostings. Right now it's listening on port 80, so I'm going to set it on port 8080. Yeah, that should do. Save it, close it. Again, you don't have to do any of this. If your Apache starts up normally, you are set to go. Service and port settings, port 80. Yeah, this is Apache. Yeah, we're good. See? Yeah, now let's see what we got. Go back to, what the hell is this? Anyway, never mind. Localhost and the port 80. Yours will be at port 80, mine shall be at port 8080, which will introduce you to the Apache dashboard. Now you are going to navigate to phpMyAdmin. This will give you, how should I say this? Graphical user interface control over your database. See, we can create databases. Database name, you don't need to specify any of that, but you can simply create it. For now, we simply say tutorial 1. Ooh. Yeah, just simply tutorial. Let's keep it simple. Yeah, see, and the database has been created. Going to go to your C drive. C drive is located at this PC, local disk C. Xampp, find htdocs. Here we go. this is the place we are going to dump every single, how should I say this, folder that contains your website. Let's create one, a dummy one. Let's say, what should we say? Tutorial. Go in, create an index file, new. Note to self, every single website that you create, the root directory needs to have an index.html, index.php, index.js. It doesn't matter what it is, all that matters is that it's an index.something, because the server recognizes this. The server looks for the index.stuff, any server. So make sure within your root directory you will forever have an index dot, in our case, HTML index. Yeah. Let's see. We can open it with the text editor. Let's find one. We got Sublime. Let's type something. Let's see, what do we have? HTML will have head, title, body, and h1 tag. This is us. Go back to your browser, and this time localhost port 80. Your case, my case, it will be port 8080 / the name of the folder. Remember, this is tutorial, htdocs tutorial. We are simply going to say tutorial. It will automatically detect the index.html file. This is us. Okay, now before we go any further, there's a couple of things I'd like to change. Not a couple, it's only one. The naming scheme. See, since we're going to be developing PHP websites, it makes no sense having it .html, does it? Even though it's a web application, but it's already running on a server. For it to be a .html file, all this means is that it shall be understood by any browser. But since we're already running it on a server, which is Xampp, we don't need that. All we need is for it to recognize the language, the scripting language that we'll be using, which will be PHP. And it will still work. So that's it for today. Till next time, this has been interesting. Oh yeah, just a reminder, creatures of planet Earth, within the description there's a link to my website. From there you may find free stuff. Yeah, there's also a link to my GitHub account. Feel free.